Hello everyone, this is Karthik from Raj Cloud Technologies. Thank you all for joining the session today. So I welcome you all to today's Power BI Data Analyst introduction session. I'll just give a 2 minutes introduction about our website and our social media handle, and I'll just hand over the session to our trainer Ambarishan Garu. So without any delay, let's start the session. Yeah. So once again, this is Karthik from Raj Cloud Technologies. So this is our website. So razinformatica.com. So earlier it was Raj Informatica and now it is Raj Cloud Technologies. So initially we started with only Informatica Power Center training, and now we have introduced many trainings in our institute. So that is the reason why we have renamed it as Raj Cloud Technologies. In the left top corner, you can see that Raj Informatica is now Raj Cloud Technologies. Yes. So coming to the courses, so we have many courses we have introduced in our training. So if you can just see the courses section, you can check out the trainings that we are offering here. Cybersecurity, GCP professional training, AWS and DevOps, Azure data engineering and Databricks, Snowflake in the combination of the DBT and ADF, Power BI, Informatica Power Center, Informatica Cloud, Python full stack, Java full stack, Python for AI and ChatGPT, Tableau, and we are offering many trainings in our institute. Even we are about to start generative AI, Salesforce, kids coding, and many upcoming courses we are going to launch in the next month. So just keep browsing our website to get all these details. In our website, we have uploaded many useful content. You can just visit our website. I'll just share this in the chat box. Just a second. Yeah, I have shared this website link also in the chat box. Yes. So in the interview section, you can see here, you can check out here in the interview section, we have uploaded many useful interview questions as well. So, related to the Informatica Power Center, Snowflake, AWS, Oracle, IICS, IDMC CAI, and whatever the courses available in our institute, we are going to upload all these interview questions as well. So, keep browsing our website to get all these updates. Even in the material section, you can find out many materials here. Okay, Power Center, Informatica IICS, types of tasks in IICS, Unix, Oracle, data warehousing, and many more. Just keep browsing our website so that you'll able to understand. So whatever the new concepts that we'll be adding here, what are the new interview questions that we'll be adding here, so everything you'll be able to check out from our website. Just keep browsing our website so that you'll get all the updates. And we have a YouTube channel as well. Yeah, this is our YouTube channel. So Raj Informatica real-time hands-on job-based trainings. We have 35.3K subscribers. So we have uploaded 350 plus videos till now. So if you just go to the video section here, so you can find out many useful content here. Even the session which you are in now. So this session will be also uploaded here in the Raj Informatica real-time hands-on job-based training channel. Okay. So just keep browsing our channel so that you can access all these content. So in these YouTube channel, we have uploaded many useful content related to all the trainings like Informatica Power Center. You can check out here. Informatica Power Center, Informatica Cloud, Cybersecurity, AWS and DevOps, Data Analyst, Power BI. Okay. So AWS and DevOps, Azure Data Engineering, Databricks, Snowflake. Okay. So many useful contents are uploaded here. So keep browsing our YouTube channel. So if you like our content, just subscribe. Just subscribe. If you like our content, just give us a comment and like symbol so that you will be getting, if you subscribe our channel, you will be getting all the updates, whatever the new courses that we are launching here, Okay, so each and everything you can check out here. I'm just sharing the YouTube link as well. Just a second. I'm sharing the YouTube channel link as well. So just subscribe to our channel to get all the updates. And as today is a festival, I wish you once again, I wish you all happy Sri Ramanavami, and just stay connected so that I can help you with. So today, like we are offering a 10% discount on all our courses, and a special price is available for our data analyst Power BI training as well. Just stay connected till end of the session, so that so that so we will be like getting to know about like a special prices, and what are the complementary courses that we are getting after taking this course. So each and everything I'll explain you at the end of the session. Just to stay connected. Just to stay connected. Yeah. So now just share your name. Just share your name and your WhatsApp number, so that we will share you the WhatsApp group link. So data analyst Power BI real time project WhatsApp group link will share with you, and we are also going to share today's session video and the materials related to the Power BI, and everything will be shared you on your WhatsApp number. So you can just stay connected in the WhatsApp group now. So I have shared the format, name and WhatsApp number. Just share these things in our chat box. You can select Raj Cloud Technologies, or you can select Karthik Raj Cloud Technologies, and you can share the contacts here. We'll take just a 30-second break, and I'll just hand over the session to Ambarishan garu right now.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Karthik, for the intro. All right, I'm just going to give a few minutes, just 1 minute or so, for you to go ahead and post that WhatsApp number and your name on the chat box. Just do that. I'll just get started with a screen share and all of that. All right, so let's begin. And this is going to be a demo session. So I'll just go with something that you want me to go through in the demo. Let me just kind of give you some options later point in time. But let me go through the course content. We'll just get an understanding of what is that you're expecting out of this course. My team has already introduced you to the website. They have already given you the links of the YouTube channel and all of that. I would prefer you to go through this. If you just go to the YouTube channel and if you just search for Power BI, I think we have already uploaded a lot of videos there. So you can just go through these videos. These are some videos of the recorded session, some demo that I've already given. So you have a lot of links on Power BI already. So just go through that and you'll understand how we are doing it and dealing with these different trainings. So I'm just going to post this link as well, and you can very well go through the details of this particular training session and all of that, and just kind of understand how this is all going on. Okay. Now, coming back to the course content, let me just walk you through the course content. What is expected? How would you go ahead and, kind of how are we getting started and how would we like to go through this particular detail? Let's just go understand that part. Okay. So this is Microsoft Power BI training, and this is going to be on the developers from the developers perspective. So we will be learning everything from a developer standpoint. We'll understand how to develop a report, how to publish it, how to share it with our users. So these are the different things that we go and work on in our session. Okay. So I'm here in the courses section and I'm into the Power BI training page. So that is what I am currently on. And if you just go to this particular page, which I've already pasted, no, I'll just paste it here. Okay. So if I just give you this link, just go through this link and you'll understand this better. So I'll just come down a little bit and you will see that we are going to take this course in certain ways. And I have actually gone ahead and created this course content. We have kind of understood what is the mindset of the users and the participants, and then based on that, I've curated all of these different details. Okay, so you're going to have a 30 plus hours of live lectures from me. Okay. Just let me introduce myself first of all before getting into this. So my name is Ambarishan. You can call me Amber. And I have over 14 years of experience, 15 years of experience in the IT domain. And I've been working as a data warehouse engineer initially, but slowly moved on to the data visualization tools. I started off with ClickView, if you have heard of that tool, ClickView, and then ClickSense. And then I slowly moved on to Tableau. And then when Power BI was launched in 2014, I started working on Power BI. And it's been like what, 10, 11 years almost that Power BI has been there in the market. So I can say that I have seen this tool from its very initial stage. I've seen this tool evolve. I worked on this on a day basis. There was no single day that I've not touched this tool so far. So this is how, you know, I've kind of went through this particular details and then understood how to work with Power BI. So in the initial days is what difficult, but this tool has evolved a lot. And since you're learning it after 10 or so years, this tool is at its best and you can very well and easily learn these tools. And there is a lot of job demand for this particular tool out there in the market. We will just go through that as we progress through the training course and we will understand all of that. Okay. But yeah, just to give you a glimpse of what this course is all about, it's all about like 30 plus hours of lectures from my side. So I'll be giving you we will have a 1.5 hour session of daily session. It is going to be on a weekly basis. Okay. Just give me 1 second, guys. I don't want anyone to annotate on my screen. If you're just trying that or just trying to test it or something like that, please don't annotate. Just hold on. Okay, I'm just going to stop everyone from annotating. Mm, okay, please don't do anything on my screen, please, when I'm using my screen. Yeah. So 1.5 hours of daily session, that's what we will have. And, we will have totally a 30 plus hours of a lectures session from my side because I have to tell you how to work on this tool. So we'll go through that particular detail and we will have some hands-on after every module. We'll just go ahead and work with some, a lot of in-class project at the end of the session. We'll have some capstone projects. So those are all coming up. That is how we will go ahead and work on these different things. The things that we will cover is Power BI desktop. The Power BI desktop is where you go and build all your reports, dashboards, and everything. So we'll work 99% of the time on Power BI desktop. It includes details like Power Query Editor. You'll be working a lot on Power Query Editor to transform the data. We will be extensively going on DAX, okay, going with DAX. So it is going to be like around 6 to 10 hours of DAX session alone. So out of the 30 plus hours of lectures, you're just getting 1/3 of the entire DAX ways of working. So we'll go into the details. I'll give you a nice solid foundation. You will not be scared of DAX when we go through all of these different sessions. Yes, it's kind of a formula language in Power BI. People are very much scared of it, but I don't want you to be scared of it. I'll go ahead and take it in such a fashion that you understand how to approach DAX. That's the main idea here. We will not be running away from DAX. Okay. Now, without DAX, without these formula languages, you cannot do anything in Power BI. Okay. So we'll just go ahead and understand how to approach these formula languages and go through that. That's what we will do. And then once you develop everything in Power BI desktop, you'll be publishing that into Power BI service. Okay, so we'll understand that. And then a lot of concepts comes in, which is data gateways and a fabric kind of a concept. We'll just go through all of that during our sessions. And this is what we will go and understand. Okay. Now, to go ahead and give you a glimpse of how we will take the flow of this training, let me just show you how this works. So we will first of all go and understand the basics of Power BI. Okay, we'll understand what is the architecture of it, what are different ways of connecting and getting the data into Power BI. So we'll just understand the basics, the flow, the way the tools are all set up. So we'll just go ahead and get that idea first. And then I'll slowly introduce you to different concepts here. Okay. So we'll go with something like, what is this software as a service? What does Microsoft offer you, and what is this kind of platform? So we'll just understand those things again, the basics. But this is where we go and connect to our data set. We'll start off working with data sets first of all. I'll connect to a variety of different data sources. We will work on something like an Excel file or CSV. We'll connect to the data on the web. We'll go and connect to some locally lying databases. We will connect to some cloud based databases and a lot of other things that we will go and do. So these are all the different things. And remember, you don't have to really go and work on every single data source. If you just understand how to connect to a variety of, I mean, a few different data sources, that should be good enough. Because it's like this, you cook a pot of rice, you don't go and pick every single grain and understand whether that is cooked or not. So you just have to understand how this kind of is going to be something that you connect to the data, bring it into Power BI. That is something that I go and show you today as well, and that's what we will do. So you just have to understand one or two different data sources, and you should be able to go and work on rest of the data sources. Not a problem. That's just the idea that we want to have, but we will still go and connect to a lot of different data sources that you see here, right? Okay, now after the data is loaded into Power BI, remember, and I want you to please, kind of write this particular statement in stone because this is not going to change. So the data sources will never be clean. Okay, it is not going to be perfect little data source. You'll never have it in that fashion. So the data sources are always going to be okay, guys, I don't want you to draw anything on the screen, please. Please don't do that. And I don't have a control on, who can annotate, who cannot. If my team can look into that, that would be great. Just see if others cannot annotate on my screen, please. Right? I don't have that option here. Okay. All right. So the data is never clean, and what you want to do is you want to go and transform your data. You want to clean your data. You want to go and work on getting the data into the right shape, right format. I'll just go and do something on this today. I'll show you how to work on this. So we will be working on cleansing our data. We will be talking about data manipulation, data shaping, data massaging. There are different terms to this. You just will go through all of that. So that is what we will go and do. And we'll use something called as a Power Query editor to get this done. So that is going to be the next step in the process. And once we have done with that, we will be having almost like a couple of tables loaded into the data model. And what we have to do is we'll have to just go connect them all together. We call this as data modeling. Okay. So you have to go and connect your tables together so that you can leverage the information from one or two tables and you can showcase that, and you can just go and draw your, visualizations based on that. Okay, so that is something that you have to do. So we will be starting to work with data modeling later point in time. And this is the best flow that will give you an idea how to work with the data, how to be, um, preparing your data, and then yourself going ahead and preparing yourself for the visualization phase. I know the data visualization tool is all about visualization, but if you don't have the data in the right format, you can't go and really go and work on visualizations. Okay, so I'll just go and bring up some points here and there, but this is how we will go through our flow. And you can see I told you we will be working on an extensive DAX based uh, training session. So this is all going to be covered in the DAX based ways of working. So we'll go through a lot of formulas, we will go through a lot of functions, and I'll tell you how to approach these different details. Okay, it's nothing complex. I've seen people be very scared of tax, and even people working on real-time projects. They have experience of 1, 2, 3 years of experience. Still, they are not able to go and write any tax calculation. I mean, it's not that complex. Okay, so we'll just get rid of that fear. We will go and understand how to do this. That's the whole idea behind how we go and work on this detail. So you have got a lot of functions, operations, and other things to go and do. So we'll just go cover that. You go through this particular course content, you'll understand that. But once we have all that set, once we have got the data loaded, once we have got the data modeling and DAX kind of a things learned, then we will deep dive into visualizations in Power BI. Okay. So visualization is the last thing to worry about. Don't worry about that at the very beginning, because if your data is not clean, There is a saying, and it goes with all the AI stuff that is going on today. If you go feed junk to a system, it will throw junk out. Okay. So if you're just going ahead and feeding unnecessary information in an inconsistent format, it will go and give you inconsistent results out in a visual format. So you don't want to do all of that, or you don't want to go back and forth in, you know, changing and modifying the data. You'll have to do that step by step. As you progress, as you go through the details, you should know, hey, there is a flaw here. There's a discrepancy here. I want to fix it first. And that will really help you in the visualization phase, because when you go to the visualization phase, there is no turning back. You can't go start from the very beginning. You can't just say, hey, I want to connect to the data again. I want to shape and model the data again. I want to go and then work on visualization. So it's going to be too late if you want to just work this way, and it's going to be not so productive for you as well. So make sure that you're just doing this in a proper way. And this is the way I go through this training. So, yeah, this is how you should be learning it best. I've seen people just start off with visualization in a lot of courses. That is not going to really make sense. Okay, you'll never understand what's going on. All right, after the visualization is done, we will be just going ahead and working on some Power BI service things. You will definitely get some hands on. You'll be working on some projects parallelly. We will just be in a good, nice shape to work on some projects. You're going to do all of that. But we will start publishing our, you know, reports to Power BI service. That's more like a cloud-based offering from Microsoft. So this is what we will go and do, and we'll understand what is a dashboard in this particular concept. We'll go and work on a lot of that, dashboarding concepts, and we'll understand how to set up the alerts, notification, how to export your data. All of that is coming in, and then later point in time, we'll just talk about the. There is a concept called apps, so that you can reduce some cost of licenses and other things. We'll talk about security and other ways of working with your details, and we will just go and understand how to explore the Power BI community, where a lot of resources are being shared and all of that. I'll just give you that idea, and then finally, yeah, that's what we will do, and we will just go and understand the different content online. And you will definitely be working on this project. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so this is what we will be doing. And yes, of course, you'll be working on projects and other things that's all coming up. And we will have some mock training, mock sessions, all of that based on your requirement and your ask. Okay, so you should go and let me know what is required from your side, and we will alter the course content, or we will go and include or delete anything that is required or not required. So all of that will be done based on how we want to go and take it forward. Okay. So yes, go through this particular link, understand what we have in the course content. This is what we will be going through in our session. And if you have any concerns, any questions, anything that you want to add or delete from this particular detail, yes, just to let us know, and we can certainly work towards that. Okay. But this is definitely a rich course content, and it covers everything from a developer standpoint. You should know from that perspective. So yeah, let's go and understand what you want. Okay. All right. So that being said, let me go ahead and give you a small suggestion. I want some suggestions, and just use the chat box here. Paginated reports. Okay, paginated reports are something different. Okay, that's a different tool altogether. There is a tool called as Power BI Report Builder. You'll be using that for doing it. So we will not be working on that part. That's a separate training or separate details altogether. So we don't want to look into that. We are only focusing on Power BI. That's a separate tool, and we have a lot to learn in that tool. And that's the whole focus of this entire training. Okay. All right, everyone, just put your thoughts in the chat box. I'm just going to ask a question, and I want you to let me know what you want to see. So I'm giving you two options. Should I go with a data set and then build visualization, say Viz, V-I-Z in the chat box? If you want to go with visualizations, ways of working, you want to see something on the visualization side, or do you want me to cover DAX? I'm giving you an option, DAX or visualization. Just put that in the chat box. Make sure that you're selecting meeting group chat so that I can see your chat, or you can just ping it directly to me, Ambarishan. Just go ahead and ping it directly to me. So what is that you want to go ahead and look at? DAX or visualization, whatever that is, just put it on the chat box. I'll see based on the count, based on the vote that we get for all of this, we'll just go ahead and understand how you want to look at it. Okay, I'm getting DAX from most of you. DAX. A few people have said Viz, but the count for DAX is more. Okay, I'm just going to give a few minutes, just one more minute. Let's see. Just put your thoughts. What do you want to see today on the demo? DAX or visualization? Okay, I see a lot of people mentioning DAX here. Okay, I'll give you the time to talk. We will not have any sessions. I mean, we will not have initially. We will not let the participants talk because I want to just go with this training or the demo first of all. So let's go with the DAX ways of working, and let's go and understand how to approach DAX. Yes. So let's do that, and I'll also go ahead and build something. Don't worry. I'll go ahead and work on some visualization. So let's just get some sales data into our Power BI file. We'll just work with a sample data, and then I'll show you how to go and work with DAX. Let's just focus on DAX then. Okay. I've got DAX request. So let's go ahead and work on that. Good. So if I go here and search for Power BI desktop, and I'll tell you how to install it and set it up in your machine when we go through the training, but I've got Power BI desktop here. I'm just opening that, and let's just go get into the tool itself. Okay. I also have a sample data set, which I'll go ahead and open now. So if I go to my Excel file, we can just go ahead and look at a sample data set, and we'll just go with that. Just hold on. Okay, well, let's just go into the sample superstores data. Okay, and look at this. I'm just going to just format this a little bit so that you can really see. And this is the only data that I'll go ahead and get it into Power BI. So let's just focus on this one sheet alone. Okay. All right, have a look. So this is a sales data that I have, and this is a sample superstores data. You can go and download it from your internet. Just type it in browser, sample superstore. You should be able to download it. Now, I'll be connecting to this data set, and this is purely a sales data. We have some orders coming in. We have some customer details. We have the segmentation of the products like consumer, home office, or something else. And then we have the actual product itself here, the product name, the product ID, and all of that. And then we have the sales quantity and discount and profit. So these are the main key metrics that we'll go and work on. But let me just load this data. This is a sample sales data. I'll just load this data into Power BI. I'll show you how to do that. But our focus is on DAX. You guys have requested DAX. So let me just go and do that. Is Power BI Builder separate course? Yes, that's a separate course, and I don't think we have it for now, but we will soon include it in our in the near future. But that's going to be a separate course. That's a separate tool. You'll have to approach and understand it in a separate way. So Power BI Desktop is different. Power BI Report Builder is different. So we will do it separately. Okay. All right. Now let me load this file into Power BI. Now you'll see that there are three sheets here. We will just focus on the order sheet, people and returns. There are different sheets as well. We will not focus on other sheets. Let's just go ahead and focus on orders table. Okay. So if I go back to my Power BI file, I'm just going to bring up that on my screen here, and we will create a blank report. Okay, so let's just open Power BI desktop. We'll create a blank report, and this is going to be the interface where you go ahead and work on most of the time. And let me just give you a brief introduction of what is going to happen when you load the data and how do you go ahead and approach this way. Okay, so let's see. So this is your interface. This is where you'll work 99% of the time. The 1% would be on the Power BI service side of things where you publish and then you go ahead and share and collaborate with your users. That happens on the server. It can be a cloud-based environment. It can be an on-prem environment. So there are different servers available. We'll get to that later and at the end of the course, during the course. So that's how it works. Okay, so the very first thing that you want to do is if you want to build a visualization, let's say you want to come up with a visualization, you need data for that, right? Simple as that. So what we do is we go ahead and get the data and you use this option to go ahead and get to the data. The data can lie in a different format. For example, it can lie as an Excel file. It can sit in your machine or some other place in a database. It can be a cloud-based environment. It can be a files on cloud, it can be a database on the cloud-based environment, it can be of any different variations and variety of it. And all you have to do is understand where is your data lying, and then based on that, get to the data. That's it. Okay, so you'll get this help from get data. There will be a dialog box coming up. You'll be choosing what is your data source. You'll be going through that. And that's how this is going to be getting done. Now, once you bring the data into Power BI, what happens is it will come and sit here on the right hand side. So you will have the table coming in, you'll have the columns coming in, tables and columns, tables and columns. So you can load things from different data sources. Many tables can be brought in. There is no limit to the tables and the number of columns and the data that you can bring in. But yes, of course, it has some sizes. You can't go beyond certain size. If you go beyond certain size, it will be very slow, and all of that can really happen. But yeah, you can just load and work with a lot of data, and we will go talk more about those performance related stuff when we go through this course. But that's what you get. Okay, so you get the data into this data pane. So when you connect to the data is going to be coming and sitting here, and that's how you start off bringing the data into Power BI. Okay, once that is done, like I said, the data is going to be never clean. So what we have to do is we'll have to go ahead and work on the data. I'll show you some ways in which you can, work on this data set, but our focus is going to be mainly on DAX. So let's go ahead and focus on DAX first. And once the data is all done, you'll also be working on a lot of things. So there are three icons here. The first icon is called as a report view. Okay, these are all called views. The first icon is called as a report view. The second icon is called as a data or table view. Okay, these are all views. We'll just get into that. And the third icon is called as a model view. Okay, so these are view. All right. So this is what we have. So the report view is nothing but what you're currently looking at. This canvas is where you go and, kind of add these different visualizations. So you'll be building that, chart graph and other things. So that's what is going to be called as a report view. So you're already looking at and you're already on that report view. The table view will give you a tabular format of the data that you have loaded, and that will be a preview that you'll get. You can filter the data, you can validate the data in certain ways. If you want to go ahead and check something out, you can do that, and that's going to be more of a tabular format of the data. We don't have anything here. We don't have any data loaded yet. So it's all going to be blank. So I'll show you when I load the data, I'll show you all of these different views and you'll understand it. The model view is when you go and connect your tables, and then you can go and relate these two tables together or many different tables together. So what you're doing is you're bringing and building a data model. Okay, data modeling is very important because your data may not be lying in a separate file or in a single file. It may lie in a different file formats, different databases, different places all over the world. Okay, you want to do it. Let's say, for example, Amazon as an example, and I'll use this example a lot. So if you want to go and look at Amazon as a business, it has presence in different countries. Let's say you get a data set for United States, you get a data set for or a file for India. Now you want to bring it all together. How will you do it? There are different techniques that you'll go and follow, and you may want to go and let's say you have all the managers list coming separately as a separate file. How will you join these informations together? That is what is going to happen in your data model, and you'll be working on that data. You'll be kind of collating all of that information, bringing it all together. If it comes from a variety of different sources, you have to manage, maintain, and model that information. So that is what we will go with data model, and that's going to be interesting topic as well. And you have to learn certain basic concepts as we progress. I'll touch base on all of that whenever the time is right, and that's how we will go and work on these things. Okay, all right, so let's first of all load the data, and then we'll work on the DAX initially, and then I'll show you how to work on visualizations and other things. So let's just get into that. Okay, I'll not go deeply into the DAX, but I'll just give you an overview, a high level understanding of DAX. So let's go to this. Now, even before we get to the DAX ways of working, I wanted to go and share something with you. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. I'll just go and share one slide with you so that we understand what we are going through. Um, Give me 1 minute. Okay, so let's go and understand what is business intelligence, right? So you have Power BI. There is this tool called as Power BI, and you know that Power BI is a BI tool. But let's first of all understand what is BI, and then we will go into the details of it. So I'm just going to go through this slide here. So let's go ahead and work on this slide and then move forward. Okay. Now, in order to define BI, you need to understand two things. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of segregate this entire diagram into two. So this is going to be your, let's say, phase one. Okay. The first phase. And this is going to be phase two. Okay. So this is going to be phase two. Now, what you have to do is you'll have to understand where is your data lying. You have to take it to the tool, like a data visualization tool. You're going to create something called as dashboards, reports, insights out of that data. So this is going to be called as a raw data. Okay, I'm just using my mouse to write. Don't mind my bad handwriting. So this is your raw data. Okay, and with the raw data, what you're doing is you're converting that into more meaningful format, more understandable format, and that's where the reports, the dashboards, the visualization is going to really help you do all of that. So that is what you do. So that is the process of converting your raw data into some meaningful insights. That's what we do. Now, once you have created this insight or dashboards or reports, are you going to keep it with yourself? No, right? You can't really keep it with yourself. What's the point in building all of this? Let's say you have come up with a amazing report, amazing dashboard. It's going to give value to your users. But if you're not sharing it with your users, that's not going to make any sense, right? So the next step is to go and share that with your business users. And these are not any users. These are not, let's say you have an organization and you have freshers joining your organization, right? It's not going to be given to the freshers. I mean, what would a fresher do with this detail? The business users that I'm talking about is all decision makers in the organization. Okay. Let's say I create some report for Amazon. I'm looking at the Amazon's data set and I'm creating a report. I would like to go and share that with the CEO of the company. It was Jeff Bezos before, but it is someone else today. I don't know who's the CEO, but I would like to go and give this report to the top level executives who are the decision makers of the organization. And that is when they'll be able to take decisions by understanding what the data is telling them. Let's say there is a region where we are not doing too much of a profit. The products are not being sold, and I have a warehouse created. I'm investing a lot of things inside that environment or region, and there is no sales, no profit. I'm losing a lot of money there just by installing these different warehouses and other things. I've just got a lot of products stacked up in the warehouse, and I don't have any profit coming from that. That's when a decision maker or a business user is going to take a decision saying that, hey, let's go and get rid of this region. We don't want this in our business. We'll move all these goods to some other place and we'll just start shipping those products from that particular place. You get my point? So those are the decisions that you have to make by looking at your data. Okay. So that is what is called as business intelligence. So business intelligence is two phase process, I would say, two different stages of it. So you look at the data, you go and convert that into nice, good visual format, and then you go and share that with your business users so that they can take informed decisions. All right. That's the whole point of it. And if you're not able to do all of this, I don't know, the business intelligence definition is not complete. And Power BI has that BI in it, and it is a business intelligence solution. So it gives you an end to end ways of working. So it can go and connect to a variety of different data sources. It can do a lot of stuff. I'll get into these things later. Okay. But you can go do some visualizations and then you can share that with your business users and they can go and take those informed decisions. Okay. That's the whole point of it. And that's what we do with Power BI. I hope you're getting that idea. Yeah. Now, as you progress, we will just go talk about, the ETL concept. There is this data warehouse concept coming into play as well, and that's why we have the data warehouse here. So you will be getting some lot of definitions will be coming from data warehouse. For example, we will be talking about dimensions. We will be talking about measures. We'll be talking about data modeling, and you can call this as dimensional modeling. Okay, so you go ahead and get a lot of information and a lot of concepts coming from the data warehouse, and this base, this foundation is required for you to go ahead and work on any data visualization tools. And luckily I had that because I worked as a data warehouse engineer, And then I was building data warehouses. I understood what's a dimension, what's a measure, how to create all of these tables, where to go and store and park all of this information. So that gave me a good, nice foundation to work on data visualization tools. But you don't have to have that kind of an exposure. I'll give you all the ideas that you need and the basic information and the foundation, like I said, to go and build things on top of it. Okay. So that's what we will do. And that's all coming up. But I just wanted to give you a glimpse of it. Okay. Now, the reason I'm just bringing up this slide is look at where is your data visualization section? Where is it? It is the last thing that you want to worry about. And I said this is in two phases, right? This is the last part of the phase one. And then you'll go and share this with your users. That's phase two, right? So you don't have to jump right into the visualization. And if you want to jump right into it, it's going to be like a back and forth mechanism. Let me just give you an example. Okay. Let's say, for example, you're having a population data set and you're loading the population data set into Power BI. Let's say there is a column called as gender column, and you have got zeros and ones coming in. Okay, I'm just going to do this. Let's just see ones and zeros coming in this particular detail. So that's is all ones and zeros. Okay. Now what you do is you jump right into the visualization phase, and what you have done is you have created a chart that says, hey, this is the count for zero, this is the count for one. You're sharing that with your business user. What is the first question this guy is going to ask? He or she will come back and tell you or ask you, what is the meaning of 0 and 1? What does this stand for? Yes or no? Right? So you have to go back now. You have to go to the very starting point. You have to define what is 0 and what is 1. And you have to get a derivation for that. You have to go and add more meaning to your data set. You'll have to then jump right into this visualization phase. You have to create this visualization again, saying that, hey, this is male, this is female. I hope you're understanding my point. So what's happening here is if you start off with this section and if you jump right into this particular visualization phase, you'll have to always come back here to fix a lot of details. And that's the reason, if you look at my course content, the way we have designed it, you should be going ahead and working on this gender column first. You have to fix and derive those meaning first of all, and then jump into the visualization phase. So don't go from data source to visualization directly. This is not going to work. You'll have to always come back here. You'll have to always go through these different sections. And that's the reason I want you to just look at visualization as the last thing in your entire process. Don't jump into that right away. And that's how we want to go and approach this particular tool and work with this particular tool, right? So yeah, there are a lot of things that you have to understand. The data is not going to be clean. The data will have all sorts of anomalies, discrepancies. We will go through a lot of scenarios in that basis, in that case, and understand how this works. Okay. So all of that is coming up in the course, the main course. I don't want to give you the entire, spoilers here. So we don't want to do all of that. We will go take that step by step, and that's how we will go and approach it. Okay. I hope you got the idea. And this is something very important for you to go and look at. Okay, great. We're just going to come out of the slide and let's go ahead and connect to a data source. We have already looked at the data source. It's a sample data that I have. Let's go ahead and load that into Power BI and we'll work on DAX. Your requests. Okay, let's go ahead and work on DAX. So I'll connect to the data source. Where is my data lying? It's an Excel file. Okay, it's an Excel file. I'll just go connect to this file. I have got this in different locations. I'll just connect to one of these different files and I'll load the data, the orders table alone into Power BI. Okay. So if I click on Excel workbook, that's where my data lies. And I'm just going to go into one of the folders where the data lies. Just give me a minute. Okay. And this is our file. Okay. Sample superstores new. That's our file. Let's just go and connect to that. So I'll say open. And what you'll see is you'll see the contents of the file in front of you right now. So Power BI is going to list all of the sheets that we have in our file getting listed here. You can see that it is already connecting to that sample superstores file. It is listing all the different sheets within that particular file. So all you have to do here is click on the sheet name, click, and that should give you the preview on the right hand side. Okay. I want you to go through the preview as you progress through these different steps. I want you to go through the preview, and there can be a lot of discrepancies kind of found out, or you can very well clearly see If there is an error, if there is an issue with the header, if the columns are not coming in properly, all of that can be evident. All of that can be very clearly seen with a preview here. Okay. So if you can just look at the preview, glance through that very quickly and understand if everything is looking good or not, then that should be good enough. We should be able to load this data into Power BI and then we will work with that. Okay. So I think this looks good. If you look at my table here, it all starts with row ID, order ID, blah, 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 and it ends with those four metrics that I talked about: sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Okay. So if I go back, I think I see all of that here: row ID, order ID, all of those different columns. And then finally, we have those four columns called sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Good. So everything is coming in. I think I see the data also nice and neatly available. So this is what we have. All right. Now, what I'll do is I'll tell Power BI that, hey, I want to go and load the orders table. Now, you do that by checking this box, and you can very clearly see that the buttons are all disabled for now. It's not available for you to select. So that happens when you tell Power BI that what is the sheet, what are the different details that you want to load. You can check multiple boxes. That's okay. But we will just go with the orders table for now. Okay, I'll just click on the orders table and you will see that the data is or the buttons are getting enabled and we should be able to go and load the data into Power BI. Okay. Now the data does not have any discrepancies, so we will just go ahead and load it directly. If it has some issues, let's say there is an error here, there are a lot of errors in your column. If that's the case, you want to go ahead and transform the data, meaning that you want to fix all of those error issues and then load the data into Power BI. Got it? So in this case, we'll just go with load and we'll talk more about transformation techniques later. Not today, but in our original course. Okay. So I'll just say load here and we'll just load the data into Power BI. Okay. Now, since you guys have asked for DAX, let's go with DAX and I'll just introduce you to certain details on DAX. So we'll just go through some slides and then we will get into the ways of working of DAX. Okay. Now, DAX, if you don't know what it is and it's nothing complex, I call this as a monster. Okay. And I do write some blogs. You can check out my blogs. I call this as monster and I don't want you to treat it as a monster. Okay. So DAX stands for data analysis expression. Yes. And it's monster because it's scaring a lot of people. Okay. So don't treat it as a monster, but this is a really good, nice, friendly monster. And if you can just make friends with DAX expressions, then it's going to be really helping you out in getting the most out of your data. All right. So yeah, this is what we have. We have DAX expressions. DAX stands for data analysis expressions. Now, what is this really? Okay. DAX is nothing but a library of functions and operators. Okay. So it's just a library of functions and operators. What do you mean by library of functions and operators? It's a list of functions. It's a combination of operators, like you have AND operator, you have OR operator, you have NOT operators. These are all operators for you. Okay. So this is what we have. We have list of functions, a library of functions, and a list of operators. We combine these two together to build what? To build formulas or expressions in Power BI. Do you think this is complex? No. We are not writing any line of code, and throughout the entire session, entire Power BI session, you'll not even write a single line of code. I can assure you that. You will not write it in your real-time projects. You're not going to write it in the entire lifetime of you working with Power BI. The only place where you'll type something, where you'll write something, will be some small formulas and expressions that you'll build using the functions and operators, and that is what is called as DAX. Okay, now I called it as a monster. Now, this is not a different monster. This is not a new monster that you have to master. No. If you have done something like this in Excel, can I get some yes or no when I just go ask you some questions? So, have you just gone ahead and done this? Have you written a formula like this in Excel? Have you ever gone ahead and added or summed up few values from Excel where you have added values from A1 to A5? You've done this, right? Everyone? Yeah. This is DAX. Did you guys know that this was DAX? No, right? So this is really a DAX expression, and this is pretty much the formula we will write in our Power BI as well. So don't be scared of DAX. DAX has been there in a lot of different tools. We have worked in DAX on, something called as an analysis services. There is a SQL Server analysis services where you go and write DAX. We have a small section or area where you go and write some calculation that's called as Power Pivot in Excel. But even a simple formula like this that you have written, a VLOOKUP formula, a left right function, a trim function, all of those functions that you have used in Excel, every single function that you have used in Excel was DAX. Without your knowledge, knowingly or unknowingly, you have been working with DAX for a long time. Okay. And you are already comfortable with DAX. You're already somewhat aware of DAX. But when you look at this term, a new term in Power BI, all of us are scared. And that's not something that I want you to go be that way. Okay. So don't be scared of DAX. Like I said, it can be a friendly monster, and you just have to kind of understand how to approach DAX and get used to that. Okay. So let me give you a tip of the iceberg, and I'll just show you how you have to approach DAX, how you can go and build that. So I'll give you an example in Excel and also in Power BI so that you understand and approach DAX in certain ways. Let's go and do this way. And I'll be giving you such examples during our main session, main course as well. That's the whole idea. But let's go ahead and understand how to approach DAX and go with this. Okay. All right. Now, the DAX is of different types. All right. Let's just go ahead and understand what are the different types of DAX. We can go ahead and use DAX to go create a column. You can use DAX in different ways. And one of the ways you can go ahead and work on is to create a column. Okay. And then we can go ahead and create a measure, and we can also go and work on DAX to create a table. So you can create a column out of certain things, and you can just work on a column derivation, like the gender column that I talked about, the zeros and ones that we had. If you want to go and derive a separate column saying that, hey, zero stands for male, one stands for female, and all of that, that's a column that you're deriving from some other column. Getting my point? So that is how you work with DAX. You're adding more meaning to your data. You're deriving something out of a column. That is something that we will also go through in the example that I want to give you. So that is what you go ahead and work on. Okay. Measures are dynamic calculations. And a simplest formula that you want to go ahead and look at is going to be, let's say I want to add all the sales value. Okay. So I'll say sum of sales. Okay. So that's going to be a measure. So I have got a column called as sales, and I'll be adding all of these values and summing it up. And that's what is called as a measure. Simple as that. And we'll approach it in a different way. We'll go deep dive into those details later in our course, but I'll give you a glimpse of how to work with tax. Okay. And then finally, we will go ahead and work on tables. I'll show you how to create a calendar table. There is a very good, nice importance of a calendar table to be there in your data model. We'll understand all of that. So you can actually create a table. You can get a table out from an existing table, or you can create a new table, and that can be done using DAX. Okay. So if you know how to use a certain function in certain way, you will be able to go and derive a column out of it, a calculation, a dynamic calculation out of it. That's what I just say, dynamic formulas. And then you can finally also create a table out of that. And that's the whole ways of working with DAX. Okay. Our focus today is going to be just this. I'll show you how to go ahead and work on these columns alone. So let me just go ahead and work on that. I'll give you a simple example. I'll do that in Excel. I'll do that in Power BI. And let's approach this in certain way so that you understand how to go ahead and write DAX calculations. Okay. All right, let's just jump right into the Excel file. We'll go and understand a few things. I know you should have used Excel for a lot of different reasons. Let me take a simple scenario and we'll just understand how to create the same calculation in Excel and also in Power BI. Okay, let's just go through that. Okay, great. Let's come back and let me say, for example, I'm just going to look at the product name here. Okay, and yeah, let's again just go ahead and use the chat box to give me the answer that I want. So what I'll do is I will just go ahead and have a column created here. Okay. I'm just going to kind of set this up. Okay. Let's just do this way. And just so that you don't get confused, I'm just going to add a lot of columns, and I'm just going to hide the other column on the left hand side here. And let's just zoom in a little bit. Okay, good. Now have a look. This is my ask or requirement. Okay. So I want to have, let's say, first 15 characters derived from that product name. First 15 characters derived from that product name. And I want to get those details out on a new column. Okay, so this is going to be a column that I create. So let's say I want to call it as left few characters, left 15 characters or something like that. And we'll just want to go and do all of that. And we want to derive, or we want to get the first 15 characters. I'm just roughly marking it. Okay, let's say this is first 15 characters. So I want that derived in my new column. So if I were to ask you, and if you have that experience in Excel, what is the function that you'll go and use in Excel to achieve this? Can I get that answer on the chat box? Yes. Left function. Very good. Thank you for that. Anyone else has any other thoughts? Left is bang on. I would go and use left function here. But anyone has any other thoughts? Can you go and derive this in different way in any other format? It's all fine. I mean, there are different ways of doing it, but thanks for that answer. Left function is what we will go and use. Okay. Flash fill, yeah, we can do that, but let's go with a formula. We are talking about formula, we're talking about DAX. Let's go with a formula here. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to have a name given to this column. So let's say I want to say left 15 characters. Where are we deriving that from? You know that it is coming from the product name column, right? So let it be like that. So here in this cell, I'm just going to type is equal to, and every formula in Excel starts with an equal to sign. I'll just say is equal to, I'm going to say left function. Yes, we'll just go ahead and get to that left function. Now, left is a function, and that is denoted by this fx icon. It's a function. And you can see that there is a small definition of what this function can do. What is this telling you? It says it returns the specified number of characters from the start of the text string, right? So from the start of the text string, it is going to give you the specified number of characters. What is the number of characters that I want? I want 15 characters from the left hand side. I hope you're getting that idea. So this function is going to return specified number of characters, the 15 characters that I want from the start of the text string. Very simple. So let's go ahead and do this. Left function, that's what I want to do. Left off. You have to go ahead and provide some details. Okay, I'm just going to keep it like this. What is the two arguments that it requires? One is the text. So where is the text coming from? The text is coming from Q2. Yes or no? Q2. The text is in Q2. So you'll have to go ahead and specify Q2. Comma, how many number of characters do you want? You want 15 characters from that. I'm just doing all of this because if someone is new to all of this, they just want to understand it. Otherwise, no, nothing fancy here. If you're getting bored, but just hold on. We will see how this is to be done in Power BI as well, because that's going to be slightly different and we'll approach it in a slightly different fashion. So this is what is the input that this function requires. So where is the text coming from? How many characters that you want to go and get from this particular detail? That's what we will go and do. So if I just do that, hey, I'm just saying this text is coming from here. That's the first parameter. Just put a comma. The second parameter, it's going to be 15 characters that I want from the left hand side. I hit enter and I complete my formula. Look at that. That's the first 15 characters that you're getting from your product name. Good. I'm going to double click on this handle and then I'll fill it downwards, and you're seeing that this is all like this. Yes or no? It's getting filled downwards. Good. So you understood that we should be able to go and derive the first 15 characters from the product name using a function called as left, and we will use the same function in Power BI, and we want to approach it in a proper fashion. So I'll show you what are the do's, don'ts, and how do you want to go and create this function. So let's get that idea, and then we will understand how to do this in Power BI. Okay. So if I go to the Power BI file, and what we have done is we have just loaded the file into Power BI, right? So we just went ahead and loaded orders table. So we are currently in the report view. This is your report view. This is the table view I said, and this is the model view. right? So these are all the different views, and there is one more view. We'll not get into that for now. Let's just leave it out. But these are the views that you'll go and work on most of the time. And so let me just get you into the table view so that you can see what is actually coming in this table. So if you expand this table on the data pane, what you see is you see the table name, you see all the columns in this particular table that got loaded, correct? So this is your table name. These are all the columns that you have. The columns are always sorted in ascending order, A to Z, so that it is easy for you to find. Let's say you want to find state column. That state is going to be here. It's just alphabetically sorted. So you can very easily get to that particular detail, and that's how this is all going to be. But you saw that the order of columns in the original file is different. Row ID, order date, ship date. So all of this original, order of the table is available in the report view. Okay, so in the table view. So if you go to the table view, you can actually see the source table as is coming and kind of getting rendered in front of you. So look at that orders table. This is your orders table. This is your table view, and you can look at this as a table. And if you want to filter, let's say I want to filter on a customer name. I want to go ahead and do some filtering on Aaron Bergman. I want to see, okay, this customer, what all products did he purchase? I can very well do that, right? So I can go ahead and understand what this guy is buying and how much is the profit coming from this person, so on and so forth. I can just kind of validate, quickly get into those details. And it's all like filters being applied on your Excel file. All of that is pretty much possible. And that's what we have, right? So this is what you can do with your table view. And what you also get is you also get a model view. If I click on this model view, you'll see that this is a table, just one table that we have loaded. And we will be having so many other tables coming in. And based on that, you can go and start creating that data model. This is something that we will reserve for some other session, but this is what you do. And this is how you go and work on your data. Okay. Let me go to the table view. And what we are talking about is about this column that we want to create, right? So what did I do in Excel? Do you see a column getting created? So I created a column in Excel. And we had those derivations coming in for every single row. So that's what we have done. And using a formula, we just kind of derived all of this detail here. So I want you to understand what we are doing. So we are creating a column, and that column is coming out like this. There's a formula behind the scene for every row, and that every row will have that formula iterated, and it will go and extract the number of characters from the left hand side. So this product's 15 characters is what we get here. That's what is the whole idea. So let's do similar things in Power BI. And like I said, you'll have to approach things in a different way. And whenever I create a column, whenever I want a column, I want to be in the table view. Okay. You can create a column being inside this report view. You can still create a column here. You can create a column from the model view as well. Okay. If you hover onto this, these will tell you what these views are. Okay. So you can create all of this way, but you will be seeing a column getting created at the end of the table. And just like how you saw this column coming out, and you were able to go ahead and validate, yes, the output that I'm getting is correct. And you're able to see this output come in front of you. It's not having any errors. It's not showing you any errors. So you're confident that the output that you got is all right, all correct. Yes. So that's the beauty of looking at your output right in front of you. So to understand what is coming out, whether you have gone wrong somewhere, whether you have written this particular equation correctly or not, you have to see this output, correct? So in order to see that output, be there in the table view, because that's where you'll see a column getting created, and you'll be seeing the output, and you should very well validate and say, yes, you have written the formula correctly and the output is all coming out properly. So I want to be here in the table view here. Okay, got it? So let's just do that. And what I'll do is I'll just use this icon on top that helps me to create a column. There are different ways of doing it. I'm just kind of touching on the important aspects. Given the time here, given your interest here in the demo, I'm just going to do this very quickly so that you understand what are we going through. Okay. So if I give, or if I click on this one, new column, what you'll see is you'll see a column, a placeholder getting created here. The columns in Power BI will always be created at the end of the table. It is not going to be created at the middle somewhere. In Excel, I can do all of that, but in Power BI, I can only get that column at the very end of it. I can't get it in the middle of it. Okay, so that's how things work in Power BI. But you can see that there is a column or a placeholder coming up. That's where our values and our column names are all going to be coming up. But we will be going ahead and deriving everything from our product name. We'll go ahead and derive things and put it inside this column. So let's see how to derive that. But you'll also notice that this formula bar is available for me to go ahead and write some formula, and we'll do the same formula here, but there is a slight change in how you approach the formula, and that will be coming out in this particular column. I hope you're getting that idea, right? I'll just come back or do the same step again. Look at this. You already have a formula bar, but that is not enabled for you, right? Unlike Excel, where you have this formula enabled always, you can just click on any cell and you can just start typing any formula. So this is available to you all the time. But in Power BI, the formula bar is not available to you all the time. It only gets enabled, and it's more dynamic. It only gets enabled whenever you want something to be done. Whenever you want to add a formula, you will just go ahead and add a formula or create a formula. That's when this gets enabled. Okay, that's how dynamic, that's how intelligent this tool is. And it knows what you're trying to do. It gives you those different options to work on it, and you just have to make use of it properly. Okay. So when I say, hey, I want to create a column, I click on this icon, I'm creating a column, and it creates a placeholder where the output is going to be. And it also gives you this formula bar. It activates the formula bar, and let's go ahead and type something on the formula bar. Okay. Now, like I said, I'll just go back one step again. So like I said, you can create a column here. So if you just click on anything like this, and if you find this new column icon, I can create a column here. But do you see the placeholder coming in? Can you see the output of this particular column coming up right in front of you? The answer is no. So hence, you'll not be feeling confident in creating this column because you're just typing it. It's like shooting the arrow in the dark, right? So you don't know whether it will get the target or not. So it's like that. So I don't want you to create a column here. I don't want you to create a column here. This can also be done from the model view. I can create a column from here, but you'll never know whether the output that you're getting is correct or not. So that's the reason I want you to go ahead and create it inside the table view. Just let's go ahead and do that. And whenever you click on new column icon, it creates that particular section where you can very well look at it at the end after you have created the formula. You will be very confident. You can tap yourself on the back and say, hey, yes, I've got this right. Yes, that's what I want you to understand. Okay, let me just kind of use some shortcut keys here. This font is too small. I don't want to zoom in too much. Okay, so if I just do control and the plus key on my keyboard, it goes and increases the font size. If I do control minus, the plus and minus is next to your backspace button. Okay, control plus, control minus, it can increase or decrease the font size. That's just a shortcut that I want you to understand. And you also have one more shortcut, shift enter. And what you'll see is you can go to the next line. All right. And this numbers, these numbers that you see is just the line numbers. So don't get confused with all of this. These are nothing fancy, nothing complex. These are line numbers for you. Okay. So if you're on line one, it will just show you this one here. So don't get confused with this. That's what I want you to do. Okay. So shift enter to go to the new line. All right. Now I want you to understand something. This is different. This tool is different. It's slightly different, not that different, but you have to approach it in a different way. In Excel, anything after the equal to symbol, and your formula actually begins with this equal to symbol. So anything after the equal to symbol was your expression, or you would rather call it as formula in Excel. Yes or no? So anything after the equal to symbol is an expression and formula. Yes. And anything before this inside this environment is going to be the name of the column. Are you getting my point? So what is the name of the column that you want to go ahead and set? That will be set in this section. Anything before the equal to symbol is the name of the formula. Anything after the symbol equal to symbol is going to be the expression or the formula itself. That's one change that you see in Power BI. Okay. So can I go ahead and rename my column? I want to say, hey, I want to extract the left 15 characters. And you can be as descriptive as possible, as lengthy as possible. You can say, hey, this is all product name and all of that. Okay. So first 15 characters or left of 15 characters from the product name, we can be as descriptive as possible. Until and unless you get a red squiggly line like that from Power BI, that's when you have to go and look at your naming convention. You have to understand whether you have given the name in a proper way or not. I mean, Power BI will accept all special characters. I'll just say percentage here. I'll go and do an underscore here. You can do some sort of anything goes, hyphens here. It can all take all of that. It is not going to give you any error with that. But if there is an error, yes, there will be a red squiggly line coming up like that, and you just have to make sure that you have to go and change your name, okay, based on how that Power BI is treating it. Good, but we'll keep it short. We'll just say I want left 15 characters, and where is it coming from? It's coming from the product name. That's what we will go and do. So that's the name that your column will get, and that's what is before the equal to symbol, right? So before the equal to symbol is the name of your column. I hope you're getting this. Yes. Good. Let's move on. So after the equal to symbol is where the formula actually starts. All right. So let's go ahead and write something here. So I'm just going to use the same function, the left function. Let's see if that is there in Power BI or not. Let's just type left function, and there we go. We see that there is a function called as left. And there is a small arrow on the right hand side. Let me just click on that arrow. And if I just do that, click, it gives me a definition of this function, what it can do. It says returns the specified number of characters from the start of the text string. Is it not the same function, same definition that we saw in Excel? Yes. So if I do is equal to left off, it gives me the same description here. Returns the specified number of characters from the start of the text string. So that's there here and in Power BI as well. Good. Now, does that mean every function in Excel is available in Power BI? The answer is no. Okay, there are some common functions that you can use, and that's when if you have understood or if you have worked on Excel, you should be able to comfortably work on Power BI. That's what I would say. But not all functions in Excel is available in Power BI. There are certain different approaches that you have to take, but there may be similar functions, but not really the exact same function. Okay, but in this case, we are lucky we have the left function here. Good. I'm going to hit tab to complete this formula, but we have to go ahead and provide these two different details, right? So where is the text coming from? That's the big question that you have to go ahead and answer. And then how many characters do you want? We know that we want 15 characters out of the left-hand side. So this is what you have to figure out. And if you can just figure out these parameters that needs to go into the function, then you're mastering DAX. Got it? So that's what we will have to do. Now, the problem with Power BI is, do you see references? Let's say I want to refer to this cell. Do you see a cell reference? We did Q2 there. Do you see this as 1, 2? Anywhere there is a row number, there is a column number. Do you see anything of that sort here? Can I get some yes or no? If you're looking at my screen, do you see a cell reference? Can I refer to this value by a cell? No. Yeah, thank you for that. So no cell reference is available. So how will I go and give it the text? How do I insert the text? So what you do with Power BI is that you go and refer to the column name. Yeah, very good. Thank you for that. You go and refer to the column names directly. Now, when you start referring to the column names, let's look at it. Have a look. I'll just say product name and look at that. That's our product name column, right? So we have a product name column. We have orders table from where this product name is coming from. You're getting my point? We have the orders table, and in the orders table, we have the product name. So whenever you're going to refer to a column, you will always have a prefix of the table name. This is your column name, but this is going to be your table name. Are you getting my point? Now, there can be different columns. Let's say you have column like serial number. Okay, let's just say a simple serial number. The serial number column can exist in table 1, table 2, table 3, whatever that is. It can exist in so many different tables, right? So which table are you referring to, and from which table are you referring and using the serial number? That becomes very important for Power BI to understand. And that's the reason why you have the table names as a prefix to your column names. Are you getting my point? So the same column can come in different tables as well. And for Power BI to better understand where is this column coming from and what are you trying to use from which table, you want to be very clear about it. And that's the reason Power BI gives you this kind of a convention, naming convention. So it will always have a column name and it will always have a table name as a prefix. So when you go with that, that's what it's going to do. So that's how you want to go ahead and approach this. Okay. So instead of that cell references, instead of saying, hey, this is coming from Q2, we go ahead and give the exact column name, from which table are we using it. All of that information will come in. Got it? Okay, let me just do this one more time. So I'm saying left off, and what is the text we want to go ahead and pass? Where is that coming from? The text is coming from the product name column. So go ahead and type product name column, and we'll just go ahead and select that. That's our product name column as an input. Got it? Then put a comma, and we need to go ahead and pass how many number of characters do we want from the left-hand side, right? So let's go ahead and do this. 15 characters is what I want from the left-hand side. That's it. Close the bracket, and you're done with your formula here. Okay. So we're done with all of this. Let's go ahead and hit enter, complete our formula, and look at the magic that goes on in Power BI. Okay. If I hit enter, look at that. It takes the column name from the column name that you have specified. It goes and fills all of these cells or rows with the formula's output. So it is going to go and, apply the formula on every single row and give you the output. So every single row, it is going to look at the product name and it is going to derive the details for you. Are you getting this? That's how super simple it is to approach a formula in Power BI. This is what I teach in my course. This is what I do in my course. And we will be learning an extensive ways of working and approaching DAX. So yeah, if you found this useful, just see. If you're interested in this course, share those numbers with my team and we will go through the details. Okay. If you have any questions, you can reach out to my team or you can reach out to me directly on this number. Okay. Just reach out to my team here using this WhatsApp number, or you can ask for the trainer and I'll be patched in your call and we will just talk on any questions that you have. So yeah, just go ahead and talk to my team and let's go ahead and understand. If you have any questions, we'll just take that up. Okay. So that's what I have. You can also go ahead and, kind of create visualization in a very simple fashion. I'll just show you the simplest way of creating a visual, and then I'll open the forum for question and answers. So let's just go ahead and do that. So have a look. The way I go ahead and approach and the way I go ahead and, teach people is this. Let's go ahead and click on a bar chart. Let's start off with this first visualization. And all you have to do is identify there is something called as a dimension and something called as a measure. Okay. I don't want to get into those details, but if you look at your data set, all right, if you look at this data set, whatever descriptive field you have, anything of a text data type, anything that is a categorical information, that is called as a dimension. Okay. And anything that is like a number, which you can add, which you can sum up, which you can measure, is what is called as a measure. So anything that you can sum up is called as a measure. Yeah, it is measurable. Total sales, a sum of sales is all measurable. Okay, that is why we call that as a measure. And anything descriptive in nature is called as a dimension. We'll just stick to this very basic, very layman terms definition. All right. Now, the way a visualization has to be created, and this is what I go teach in my sessions as well, is you have to find a good, nice way of coming up with a basic visual, and you do that by adding one dimension, okay, and one measure to your visualization. This I call it as a golden rule. So this is a golden rule that I follow. And if you can just add one dimension, one measure to your visualization, this is our visualization, it will give you a basic chart out. And when you have a basic chart coming out, you should be able to enhance it. You can add colors into it. You can add labels into it. You can format the chart the way you want it. So, but we want that basic chart out. Okay. So the best and the easiest way of doing it is finding out what is the dimension, what is the measure that you want to use, and use that inside your visualization from the list of columns that you have. The columns are made up of dimensions and measures. Okay. So just choose that, you add it to this visualization, and you get this visualization out. Okay. So one thing that I'll go with is look at this region is a descriptive value. I'm going to call this as dimension. Okay. Sales, I've already told you that this is a dimension. So we'll just go with sales and region for that case. And that is what we will do. So we have identified a dimension. We have identified a measure. Okay. So one dimension, one measure, that's the golden rule. That's the combination. Let's go ahead and do this. So I've got the region here. I've got the sales here. And all I'm going to do is check this box, check these boxes, and that will add these details to the visualization. Power BI will take care of that, addition automatically, where to place them, how to get that chart out. And that is going to give you a magic output. Have a look. So one dimension, check that box, one measure, check that box, and that's our visualization there. So you need to understand these small things, and you need to understand how to get this out. That's what I'm telling you in the course, in this session. And this is how we go about working on these different details. Okay. Now you have to make sure that you're adding these details to the right details here. Have a look. This has a y-axis. This has an x-axis. Region is placed in the y-axis. Sales is placed in the x-axis. Now, if you're not able to do it, let's say I'm confident enough, I'm just kind of a guy who comes and drags and drops and wants to create a visualization. And if I don't know where to place these visuals, place these different dimensions and measures, I'm sorry. So if I were to just go drag region to the x-axis, sales to the y-axis, you will get a weird looking chart. You're getting my point? The same columns, if they are replaced and placed in different sections, this is not the best chart that you can go and get. So what I'm trying to tell you here is you need that basic chart out. And for that basic chart, how can you get it in a simplest fashion? It's that golden rule that I've given you, one dimension, one measure at least. It will not work everywhere. It works 99% of the time. And that's how we want to do it. Okay, so what we have is we have a region and sales, and that's going to give you this particular detail. Can you remove the sigma symbol? Yes, that represents your, summation and any aggregation that this tool is going to do on top of it. So row ID, it has a kind of aggregation that it can do. So if you click on that row ID, let's say you want to click on this row ID, it is telling you that the summation or the way it is going to aggregate this data is by doing a count. So it will do a row ID count. It will not sum the row ID because that doesn't make sense, right? Sum of row ID. You cannot be proud of a number that you get by adding all the row IDs. You cannot be proud of a number that you get by adding all the Aadhaar card details, right? So that's how it is. So it's not going to do a sum on top of those columns. It will do a count of it. So if you don't want that summation symbol, what you can do is you can always change this to don't summarize, and that will go off. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Now, yes, this is what I want you to go and understand. So now, if you want more colors to this, I can add region to the legend. If you want data labels, I'll just quickly go through this. You can add data labels, and that's all coming up. So this is how you go and enhance your visualization. But the trick is to understand how to get the basic chart out. These are all going to be tricks and tips that I'll go and share. I have struggled a lot in my, you know, experience with the tool. I told you I started in 2014 with this tool, 2015, somewhere around that time. And this tool was very, very new, very basic. We did not have so many options like what you see on top here. I had a very few options to work with. Every single time I want to go and achieve what client requires, I've struggled a lot because the options were not there. Okay. So it was not that I don't know anything, but it was like we did not have an option. So let's say client wants a button and he wants to go to a different page altogether. There was no option to add a button. So you'll have to create a visualization to look like a button, and you are always working on a workaround to achieve what client wants. So I've struggled a lot, and I've done, everything in this particular tool, and I know this tool in and out, and I'll go and share those tips and tricks so that you feel your career easy with Power BI. Okay, that is the whole point of this entire training. So yeah, I don't want to go give you all of that. You'll experience that particular detail. We're going to offer the first 3 sessions for free. You can enroll for the session, you can understand, and you can always uh, go through the first 3 sessions. If you feel comfortable, you can continue. Otherwise, you don't have to do that. Okay. So our sessions are starting tomorrow. I'll let the team speak about those schedules. But yeah, this is what I have for you. So we have understood how to write that DAX calculation, how to approach this DAX expression. And we have also kind of understood just how to get certain charts out and how to load the data, blah, blah, blah. So there is a lot to learn, and we'll just slowly do that in that 30-40 hours of sessions and the lectures from my side. So I'm going to open the forum for question and answers. Let's see and how we do this. Okay. I see a question here. I'll just take that up and then give you the access to the mic. Will we get any materials to study? You will get everything from the session files, the recordings. I'll give you hands on, I'll give you the answer keys, we'll give you the projects, and all of that will be shared with you. So don't worry about the materials, it will all be taken care of. You'll have the recorded session. You can work on your own free time. You can attend the session during that session, and then you can work it out, in that particular time. So it's all available to you. No worries. I'll let my team speak on that as well, but I'm just going to open the forum for question and answers. And yes, you can unmute yourself and ask questions if you want to. Just let me know if you have any questions, please. Yeah, we have already granted the mic permission. Just go ahead and unmute yourself and talk to me, please. Yeah. Okay, just make it useful and ask the right questions. Please don't deviate from the topic, and please don't say anything bad about anything because these sessions are being recorded. Okay. So, yes, please. Any questions that you want to ask? I want you to stay with us for some time. My team is going to show you some offers. They're going to give you some options to go and select from. You'll get a discount on this course for sure. So just stick with us for some time and you'll get to know those offers. Okay.
Hi,
Yes, please.
Amber.
Yes.
Praveen
Go
here.
ahead. Yes, please.
So I'm currently working on Tableau and Power BI, but
Uh-huh.
my foundation for Power BI is very basic. So I want to have a learning. I mean,
Right.
a foundational learning on Power BI. That is why I
Mhm.
joined. So I want to hear from you, like, what is the minimum experience that is required in the market for Power BI for joining any job open applications?
Okay, I would definitely say, after COVID, it has been different and difficult to get a Power BI job. But I wouldn't just go ahead and say that way because my student, one of my students from the previous batch, he got selected as a fresher. So there are openings for freshers, but you'll have to be looking keenly on onto those different roles or those job uh, openings. But I think minimum is 2 years of experience, and anything above three is good enough. People are getting more calls with 3 years of experience, but minimum is two. But there are also freshers opening coming up. So if you want to apply as a fresher, you can still do that. I know that you are having the experience. That should be more than enough. See, it is not about just Power BI experience. You do have exposure and experience towards some other tool like Tableau, you're saying. So I would say I will account that knowledge as well. But yes, Power BI is different to approach. Power BI has that DAX and other experience and exposure you have to have. But if you have a basic understanding of Power BI, you should be able to crack the interview with your knowledge on other tools. So I would just say, kind of have some exposure and overlap with your previous experience and attach that in your resume saying that I worked on Power BI for last 2 years, 3 years, or 1 year at least. And that should be good enough, solid overlap and foundation for you to get into an interview. The job market is a little dull for freshers for sure. I won't like to go and agree and accept that fact. And people are looking for experienced candidates after COVID. So, it has been a dull market for sure. And we have some worries on the Western countries like US. It's at the verge of recession. So people don't know what's going to happen. And we are not getting, you can see the currency, the US dollar versus Indian currency, just, we are just kind of depreciating a lot. And that means there is a lot of, kind of havoc going on behind the scenes. So it is all not clear. And hence there is that kind of a condition in the market. So yes, the freshers openings are all dull, but if you have an experience, you can overlap your experience for the last 1 or 2 years and say you worked on Power BI. If you can crack the interview just by exposing what knowledge you have in Power BI, that should be good enough. And we can talk all of that in our session for sure. I'll just bring all of those details. We'll have some mock interview sessions, resume preparation sessions. We will have all of that, and that should be good enough. Yeah. Yes. Any other questions?
Fabric environment.
Fabric, see, this is a purely a Power BI environment, but I'll give you a exposure to Fabric environment. So we'll just kind of touch base on and I have an understanding of Fabric environment. So it is a few different tools coming together under a single umbrella, and that's the idea that I'll give you. I can showcase that how that works and all of that, but we will not deep dive into that. It's just a simple, I would say, 1.5 hour session of we'll just go through the overview of Fabric, nothing more than that. But our focus is more on Power BI because we have a lot to learn here. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, please. Any other questions? Please go on with the questions.
This is Nagaraju.
Yes, please.
So basically, I am from ETL tool only, but we have done that all the calculations or the aggregation in that our ETL level itself.
Mhm,
But why
mhm.
you require for that Power BI? We can get it from through SQL itself, the report, right? That everything, what their business use cases, everything from the SQL itself. Why you require
Right.
for Power?
Very good question. Let me just show you this report and tell me if this is something that you can do in SQL or not. I'm just going to open a report. Just hold on. So what we do here is we bring out the details in a visual format, in a graphical format, right? And you can see we have these different charts and graphs coming in. My report is still opening. Just give me 1 minute. So when you look at a full-fledged report, it's going to look something like this. So I'm just going to bring up this report onto the screen here. We will do something like this in our session. Okay, we'll build something like this in our session.
Okay.
So what I'm talking about here is we are talking about slicing and dicing the data. Can your report just, you can click on 2017, you're looking at 2017's data. You're looking at Jan 2017 data. Your report cannot do all of this. This interactivity, this user experience is what is lagging in any other tool. Yes, you can achieve this in different ways. You can also get this done in Excel. I've worked with Excel files as well. I create a lot of pivot tables. I come up with some slicers and other things, and I create such visualization in Excel. But that's going to be too much of a work, too much of a man hours invested in getting this different details. This is going to be a simple drag and drop tool, and this is going to be easy for you to share, consume, and export the data if you want. All of that is very easy and intuitive. That's the reason we go for this particular tool. Okay, so that is a real
So
essence of
I have a question
that.
here. It's
Yes.
even though you can do it on the back end also, you can Power Query itself only, right? By represented also visualization as.
Right. So you can do Power Query. Where are you doing this Power Query? In Excel, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean to say the
Okay.
SQL query and the Power Query. Can we write and Power Query in
Right,
SQL?
right. But how will you share this file with users? What happens when your data is consistently changing? Let's say this orders table is
Mm-hmm.
like an orders table in Amazon. The
Okay.
Amazon gets different orders. So every
Okay.
single day you have more and more data coming in.
Mhm.
How will you go and update the data? How will you share that information to a user? So we have a different platform altogether which manages the data load, the refreshes, the access, sharing, and collaboration of all of that. That's the reason we are going with this. Yes, you can achieve with whatever you have. You don't have to get into Power BI at all. But these are going to make life easier. A lot of people are shifting towards this. There is no cost associated with Power BI. It all comes with your, Office 365 licenses. So people are just using this for free now, right? So that is the advantage they get. I mean, it's a dedicated tool built for data visualization, user experience, sharing and collaborating with users very easily. But if you go with any other tool, the distribution list itself can go and take some time. Let's say you have 1 lakh user base, you want to send this to 1 lakh user. Will your email allow that big content? No. Will your email distribution be very quick? Is it going to send 1 lakh emails in just a few seconds? No. It's going to choke all your SMTP server. So that's a different game
Yeah.
altogether. So that's the reason we don't do it that way. Yeah. Got it. Yes. Any other questions, anyone?
Yeah,
Hi.
hi, Amber.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is Umakant.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
I
yes.
I basically come from an Excel background.
Mm-hmm.
So when you asked me, you wanted to go with DAX or visualization, in
Mm-hmm.
the first class, so I mentioned DAX because I just wanted, to elaborate because basically, when somebody comes from an Excel background,
Mm-hmm.
his mindset would be basically, thinking about writing a formulas, and linking that to a row or a column. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody understand format as table, again he would refer to a particular table name and a column.
Mm-hmm.
So when I I'm transforming, to Power BI, I have a mindset problem where, as you said, we cannot link to a particular cell in DAX, correct? So we
Right.
have to refer a particular column.
Mm-hmm.
And what problem I initially faced when I was writing the DAX is, my mindset was always expecting an answer when I, output when I click on enter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
In Excel, whenever you write a formula in a cell, and I click on enter, I immediately get an output in the cell. Correct?
Right.
So
Yeah.
this was not, the case in the DAX. First thing.
Right.
The second thing was, always, when I enter something in Excel, the formula, it mostly it returns a scalar value, a single output, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there are few functions, which return a table format, right? So
Yeah.
my mindset was not able to, digest, that thing that,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm entering a formula in DAX, but, there's no output. Where do I see the output first? Second,
Right.
right? And, which formula actually returns a scalar value, which formula returns a table, right? And
Mm-hmm.
whenever we are writing, whenever we are writing nested functions
Mm-hmm.
in Excel as well, and whenever we are writing, a nested function in tags, so what happened with me is, especially, I have to pre-evaluate, the formula in my mind. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
saying that if I write a nested function, a nested formula and use some function in that formula, I have to pre-evaluate in my mindset, okay, if I write this particular formula, oh, this is returning table. Or if it is returning a table, so then I have to aggregate something on this. Okay, if I
Right.
have to aggregate something, okay, this is my output there. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a lot of pre-evaluation. So how do you, I just wanted to understand, if you are an Excel guy, if you are coming to the Power BI, where do you have to limit yourself in thinking, you have to stop thinking about Excel at this particular level when you're writing tags.
Yes, understood your point. Just let me give you the basic idea, and guys, please don't annotate on my screen. Okay. All right. Just let me give you this idea here. Okay. Now, let's say you're approaching some sort of a function or a formula, and you have a formula here. Let's say we do a sum or we do a count of something, right? I just gave you this idea. Let's say we have some values in A1 till A5 in Excel, and you're just summing up all of these details. So, what is this sum going to do for you? What is the output, do you think? You get a single value as an output, which is nothing but the summation of all of these values. Let's say you're adding some values, all of 10 in different cells, and there are 5 cells, you get 50 as an output. You said one scalar value.
Right.
So this function is going to return one single value, one scalar value as an output. So the way I want you to look at it is, if there is a function that is aggregating and give you that, that is a measure. All right. And functions like sum, min, max, count, standard deviation, anything of that side, mean, median, mode, and all of that is going to give you one value as an output, right? So all of that is going to be called as a measure, and this calculation will vary. If I go ahead and do something like this, let's go back to our Power BI file. I'll just go to the original file that we were working on. Give me 1 minute. Let me just find, yeah, this one. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll create a measure this time. So let's say I create a new measure, and measures are always to be aggregated. Okay, in Power BI, whenever you write it, and if you're getting an error, it means that you're not approaching the formula correctly. So for example, if I'm writing a measure and like I said, the measures are always to be aggregated, I'll give you a simple tip here. Again, this is going to be useful for people here on the call. So let's say, for example, we have like about, sales column that I want to aggregate. I cannot just go and type sales and I can't go and find it out because Power BI is expecting something different and we are doing something differently. Yeah, we are doing and approaching the calculation in a different way. So what I'm trying to say is measures are always to be aggregated. So if you start off with an aggregate function like sum, min, max, count, and all of that, if you go with this, you will be able to find the sales column in here. And when Power BI is suggesting something, it means that you are going through the right, syntaxes, and you're covering all of that. That is making Power BI understand how you want to approach the formula and how you want to get the output. That's the first thing that you should understand. So in a simple way, if you understand this, and if I go back to my, again, the slides. So any formula that needs aggregation is always a measure. And you saw this left function that I used, the left function, right function. And if you have a condition basis which you want to go and derive some values, it can always be a column, because on row basis, if you want to get that output, you can always go ahead and look at that and get to that particular output. I'll give you one last tip so that you can understand this very clearly. There is a DAX documentation for Power BI. And if you go to this, let me just go ahead and show you one function, simple function. Let's go with a calendar function, and I'll do all of this in my session as well. And this calendar function, if you look at the definition, it says, hey, it's going to return a table, right? Now you may be creating a column and this function is giving you a table. The error that you'll get is you're trying to fit a table into a column, which will not work. I hope you're getting my point, right? And you're also creating a column or a measure kind of a calculation, and you're trying to fit a table or push a table into a measure. That's not going to work. So there is certain keys or keyword or phrases that you have to go and understand. And if you understand how a particular function behaves and how you want to get the data out, or what is the output of all of these different functions, then you'll be able to better use this. So it comes with an experience and exposure towards this. The mistakes you have made, I have also made, and I've also struggled initially during that DAX phase. But like I said, I'm going to take all that experience, I'm going to share it with you all. I'm going to tell you how to approach this in a right fashion. You may still be making these mistakes, but you'll learn from that mistake and you'll do it right. So don't create a function or don't use a function that's going to return a table and start using that in a column based fashion. So that's the only idea that you should have. And if you can get that kind of thing understood, then it's easy for you to work on DAX. That's a great question. Thanks for bringing that up. And I'm just giving you some tips here. That's what we want to do. I hope that answered your question. If not, just let me know. Yeah.
Sure, Amber. So the entire point was, if somebody is coming from an Excel background, how
Mhm.
much he has to, go back thinking whenever he's writing a formula on tax, how
Right.
much he has to go back and, link his knowledge to Excel. So is it something,
See,
always you have to
we
think back?
will,
Yeah.
yeah, we will have to approach different tools in different ways. So you'll have to just leave out the Excel ways of working. You'll have to come to this tool and then you have to approach it in a different way. The experience with Excel will certainly help you here, but it's not going to be exactly the way you write these formulas. So that's where we have to differ a little bit. So yes, that knowledge will really help you. That foundation is really going to be giving you a good, nice idea how to approach and work on certain things. But yeah, like I said, you'll always have a struggle. I've had struggle, and even today I struggle with certain formulas. If I were to imagine it, if I can't really kind of visualize it in my mind, how this can work, how should I approach this, then I won't be able to get it out. It's a common problem with everyone, but I want you to leave those Excel ideas behind, but that experience and exposure will definitely work, and that's how I want you to look at it. Okay, you'll eventually learn all of that, don't worry. And that may be an initial struggle, but you will always learn how this is all working. You should be mastering tags sometime soon, so don't worry about all that. Yeah, that will definitely happen.
Okay, sure. One last question.
Yes, please.
But the one who wants to learn Power BI should also have idea on Excel. Is it a mandate, or it actually acts as a foundation of understanding the data modeling part? Again, if somebody is coming from the Excel background,
Mm-hmm.
he might not understand the data modeling part and
Right.
joins part. Right, there are a lot of views, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of going around SQL
Right.
part. So whenever we I search some what are the interview questions, and will you be able to get a job if you
Right.
only learn Power BI and SQL, right? They most of the answer would come as a no. But
Mm-hmm.
again, many people say that if you have to master Power BI, you should have knowledge in Excel, you should have more knowledge in SQL. First understand SQL, then Power BI. Are these all myths, or are this actually like when you explain, if you have to go to visualization, first you have to import the data, then transform the data, then you have to publish the data, then go to the user report. Is it something like having a basic knowledge in Excel, then doing having some intermediate knowledge in SQL, then only you have to go to Power BI? So is it all a myth, or is it something really that you should have knowledge in basic knowledge in Excel. Then you have to be good at SQL. Then only learn Power BI. Is it something like a sequence which we have to follow?
So there is no straightforward answer, as well as there is no right or wrong methods or the different approaches that you want to take. Power BI can be learned individually. I'm not asking you to learn Excel or have the exposure towards SQL. This is an individual and an independent tool that you can learn separately. But I'll tell you the idea and the statements that people are making, that you need this, you need that. I'll just give you the real idea so that you understand it. So let's say I teach you something here, and I may not be working with too much of a large data set. I cannot go and have a data set like what is there in Amazon, Uber, Ola, Zomato, or whatever that is. These people are generating data on a daily basis in millions and millions of rows, right? So I can't really have all of that. So what we will work with, we will work with a sample data, and the sample data can be fit into a file. It can be lying in a simple database in my environment. That can all be done. But when you go to a real time project and you're working on a real time project, so let's consider Uber, for example, or Ola. Now these industries or these companies are generating data, right? So every single minute there is a lot of booking going on, and there are a lot of data being generated. So what is happening is you cannot store the data in a file, and that's where they'll store the data in a database. And what happens is you'll have to connect to the databases, you'll have to get the data from the database. You can just directly connect to a table, load all the data into the table, but that is not how things work in Power BI. So in order to filter the data, in order to segregate and get the data that you want out of the tables, or probably you'll be linking a lot of tables, and that's what we call as join. So you have to go and learn SQL. So eventually, as you progress through your career, you start off with Power BI, you can learn this tool independently. Now, as you progress and go to the next step, which is like getting a job and working on a real-time environment, there you will not have sample database, I mean, sample files and other things. You'll have a database to connect to. And the database, again, you don't have to learn this from an administrative perspective. Now, let's just say you want to create a table, you want to drop a table, you want to add a column, you want to change the data type. I'm not going to do all of this with my SQL world. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is, let's say I get 2.3 million sales here. I'll go into the database and I'll say select staff from this table name. What is the count from this table name? And let's do a sum of sales column. Is that giving me 2.3 million? That's what is the only validation that I'll do. So you don't have to have so much of an exposure towards SQL as well. I would use select statement, a variation of select statement, if you understand what I'm talking about. If you come even not from that background, but if you understand, that's just one statement that is
Yeah.
required. So that is the only thing that you'll do. You'll not go and work on the tables, you'll not drop, create, and do a lot of things on that. You're not working on an administrative activities, but you're just querying the database to get to the answer that you feel that is coming in your report, and you're just validating these two environments, whether they are same or not. That's the only exposure and experience that you want to have with SQL. But yeah, learning all of that. Let's say you are starting in a startup, you're working in a startup, you have to do everything. You have to create the database, you have to insert the data into it, you have to connect to that table from Power BI, then you have to validate everything. So end to end, everything works. So it depends on the organization where you're working on, and SQL comes into picture in those different ways, based on how you're working and what sort of industry that you're working on, smaller company, bigger company, and all of that. If you work for top MNCs, you'll have different teams doing the ETL stuff for you, doing the data load for you, and then you just have to work on Power BI. But the validation will be and has to be done by you. So you'll have to go and check, run a select query, and then look at that particular number. So that's how I'm telling you that way. And Excel also, just like the formula that I built here, the left function formula, it is just good enough if you can have that Excel knowledge, that you can relate it and easily work on these things. So that's the only thing. So I'll say hardly 10-15 percentage of an Excel knowledge is what is going to be implemented here. But we will have a different understanding altogether to go with. So those are all that way, and I just want you to understand from that perspective. It's not full-fledged setup or details that you go and work on a daily basis. It is just like I said, the tip of the iceberg. So you just have to use a certain queries, certain functions and formulas. And if you understand those functions and formulas, you can get that knowledge from Excel. Let's say you have worked with a lot of functions, and that is something similar here as well. You can very well use it. It's the same in SQL as well. The trim functions, the left function, the other date functions are all available in Excel. The year of, the date column, all of that is available in SQL as well. So you just have to understand that, take that knowledge and see what is an alternative or what is the direct function you're having in different environments like this. And that will really go and add to as an advantage to yourself. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So I'm not saying it's mandatory. You can learn Power BI separately as well, but knowing these things, a little bit of an Excel, a little bit of SQL, especially for validation purposes, is good enough. And that's how I would kind of term it that way, because you don't have to work on all of this and then get into Power BI, because otherwise you'll not learn this tool at all. So jump right into it. It's like jumping into the water to understand and learn swimming. So you have to jump right into the tool and understand. And whenever you want that, you have to go to those different environments and look for those details. That's it. Yeah.
So
Okay.
thanks, Amber.
Yeah,
So first
no
we're
problem.
gonna learn Power BI, then SQL or SQL then Power BI.
Uh, Say that again. The last part I did not get it. SQL
No.
or?
So in this course we do also learn SQL, right? But in
Yes, there is
SQL.
a SQL that's going to be an Oracle SQL. Those are all going to be recorded sessions given to you. So you can learn them parallelly, but this is going to be a live interactive session with me. So I will be taking this session, as a live instructor led session. And then that's how this is going to be. So Power BI is a live session, but the other one is a recorded session that you'll get. You can learn that concept parallelly. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Okay. I just have a question on the chat box. I'll just allow others to, talk, but let me just take this. Are all sessions live or any recorded session played in the live session? No. So like I said, the SQL session, Oracle SQL is all going to be recorded session given to you. You can go through that parallelly, but we will have the Power BI session as a live instructor led session. I'll be there every day basis. We'll connect and I'll go through that. That's how we'll do it. How many sessions for SQL? I'm not sure. Let my team answer that. Okay. They will answer that. And I'll think we have like 10 or 15 videos on that. I'll let them talk about the exact number. Okay.
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Yes, please.
So those are like 15 hours of sessions and 10 videos will be given to you so that like,
Mhm.
you can get the complete knowledge from these videos.
Right. Good. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Anything else, guys, before I turn over to Karthik and then ask him to give you all those details? I see a lot of people have dropped. I don't want to lose a lot of candidates here. So, any questions? Otherwise, I'll share. I mean, I'll just give it to my team for the rest of the updates.
Hi, I'm myself Madhusudan.
Yes, please, Madhusudan. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from pharmaceutical background,
Mm-hmm.
working in marketing and sales department.
Okay.
So I'm thinking to switch my career into IT field.
Mm-hmm.
So will this Power BI will helpful? As you said now, after COVID, the job market is very dull.
Right.
Yeah,
How much experience you have in your
8
marketing and
years, 8 years.
8 years? Okay.
Yes,
And you don't have any discontinuation, right? So it's all still
Mhm.
you're working on that particular role.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. You want to do it, and I don't want to do it in the public forum here, or maybe we can talk separately. But what he can do
Okay.
is you can kind of have like last 2 years or 3 years in your profile mention after going through the training session and after yourself getting trained and be confident with Power BI. You have to go ahead and put in those efforts. Once you do all of that, and once you're confident that you learned Power BI and you're kind of mastering all of that, what you can do
Okay.
is you can have an overlap of like last 2 years. Say that in your organization they expected you to work on Power BI, and you kind of in the last 2 to 3 years you worked and prepared, let's say, weekly reports, daily reports, and monthly reports to your boss, and you are doing all of that in Power BI. You can pitch in something like that. You can kind of have that overlap
Okay.
of experience done, and then that should be good enough experience for you to showcase and then get into an industry. So I'm not saying you have to go as a fresher into this and you're not switching your career into IT. You probably you have to pitch in as if you have already worked on this and you're just looking for this career growth here in this line because it's more interesting and more efficient to work with. So you just have to pitch in that way and you should definitely get that job. And that's the recommendation that I give to a lot of my students. And I've trained people from mechanical background, from non-IT background. They are all testers. They're all from management, things and all of that. So they have learned a lot, and they have moved on to this one with just this idea. And yeah, that's the only thing. We just have to have some experience. And if you're continuing with your job, you can overlap your experience of Power BI, and then you can do that. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's the
got
way.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good. All right. Anything else? I'll take one more question, guys. If you have anything, just let me know, and then I'll pass it on to my team.
Adding to the same question, if they do some background verification that you're not done properly, in that case, what will happen?
See, the background verification is going to happen based on just whether you worked in an organization or not. They're not going to get into the details of the jobs or roles and responsibility that you have worked on. I mean, I don't know if that can come from your manager or not, but they just go and validate whether your experience that you're quoting in certain industry is genuine or not. That's the validation that happens. I don't also see the experience certificates or letters that you get from the company when you relieve mentioning the job roles. If that is happening, then it's a different take altogether. But if it is not happening, then this is a best way to go and approach this job market. Okay, that's how we want to approach it. We have to be careful. If it is the other way around, we don't want to do that, and you have to kind of pitch in as a fresher. So yeah, those are all there. We just have to be sure of how we want to do this. Yeah.
Nice. And adding to the same thing, when it comes to designation part, okay, my designation is sales executive. Sales executive.
All right.
My previous companies, when I'm applying for a Power BI job, they look for a designation part, right? So you're a sales executive. How come that you worked on a Power BI? You're not a technical guy. In that case, how to pop up?
No, see, everyone today, every organization, they are starting to use Power BI. So, do you use Word, Excel in your organization? Yes.
Yes.
So with that, Power BI is getting, kind of given to every organization as an add-on. So everyone is trying out Power BI. So you can very well say that I worked on Power BI. It doesn't matter what designation it is. A sales executive can go ahead and build a dashboard report, and they can share it with their managers. Those are the decision makers in the organization. They are kind of looking at the data. They are kind of understanding what insights they are getting out of the data. So that's what we have. So it's pretty much okay. You don't have to really go with the designation, or let's say even a fresher, an entry level candidate, he can just say with like 1 year experience and exposure, he can say, I worked on the entire Power BI tool and I was building reports for my organization. I was sharing with that with my boss, and all of that is pretty fine. This is the story that we want to go with. But I don't want to talk it in this forum. This is going to be posted in YouTube as well. But we will talk that offline, and we can definitely take it out. Yeah. Yeah.
No, thanks for the answers.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yes. Any last minute questions before I turn it on to my team? Please let me know.
Hey, Hamba, this is Sharath here.
Yes, please, Sharath. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a small question. See,
Mhm.
the session that you started right now was directly with DAX. So now,
Right.
if someone wants to learn from the very initial basics,
Mm-hmm.
so where do we go for that? Will you be taking those classes as well, or do we have
Yeah, see,
recorded
this is a
sessions?
demo session, and I asked the student or participants here what they want to look at. They said DAX. So I'm just went with that. But don't worry, I'll take it step by step. And we have, if you go to this link, I'm just going to share this link with you all. Okay, just go to this link, and we have some pre-recorded session as well uploaded. Okay, so you'll see that there is this batch 1 session 3, batch 2 session 1. So just go through these sessions. These are some sessions, and you'll understand that I've gone step by step in very detail. This is just a demo session. I don't have much time to go and kind of impress you guys, or I can't go too much slow because it's going to take a lot of time. Like I said, 30 hours of lecture, 35 hours of lecture, that's what I'm going to give, and you have to go take it very slowly. So go through these sessions. You'll go and get an idea about what we have gone through. So we have a lot of first 3 sessions added to this particular environment here. Just go through this, and you can see batch 4 session 1. I've gone through that in detail. So yeah, just go through these different videos. I've just pasted the link, bookmark it, keep it, go through the session 1, and then you'll understand how detailed am I getting into those different details, and you will definitely understand how we are going through that. So we will take it slowly, no worries. It was just a demo that I've given, so that is how we have approached it. Yeah.
So these sessions, you say that you have covered the basics as well, right?
Very basic and very step by step. Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Yes. Okay, I'm just gonna share. I mean, turn it over to Karthik. Just Karthik, just take over and let them with the details, because I see a lot of participants already getting dropped, so I don't want to just lose a lot of people here. So yeah, over to you, Karthik.
Yeah, thank you so much for your wonderful session, Ambarishan Garu. From here, I'll just take over. Yes.
Sure.
So guys, like this is Karthik again from Raj Cloud Technologies admin team. So if you have any questions related to registration or related to the session schedule or anything, you can ask me. I'll just give a 1 minute introduction about this. I mean, just like about like how the sessions will be, and I'll just give an introduction about this like schedule and all, and just like at the end, I will just close it with the offer I said you about. Okay. Yes. So this is a Microsoft Power BI data analyst training. So in this training, like we'll be having a 30 to 35-day training. So nearly like a 40 to 45 hours training will be delivered here. And the timings for these sessions are, we have two batches on daily basis. Okay, the morning batch starts from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. IST. And the evening batch is from, see, this is the evening batch I want to stress again. So we have changed the timings for the evening batch. That is a 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. IST. Okay. So the both batches are starting now. Both batches are starting from tomorrow. Starting from tomorrow. Okay. So both the morning batch is from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. IST. And the evening batch timings are like 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. IST. Whatever the morning batch content covered, the same content will be delivered in the evening batch too. Okay. Suppose like a student enrolled in the morning batch. So today he or she missed the class in the morning. So you can join the today evening session as well. There is no restriction that you have joined for the morning. You should join only the morning sessions like that. Like we don't have any kind of restriction. Okay. So if you enroll evening batch, you know that today you cannot make out the session, then you can join the today morning itself and you can complete the class. Okay. So this is the biggest advantage that we are providing to our students here. So this batch, we are starting with both morning and evening at a time so that you people can make this an advantage. And if you miss the morning class, you can join the evening. If you know that like today evening, I cannot make out the session, then you can join today morning and you can complete the sessions. Okay. So this is
Raj.
the fee. Sorry, this is Karthik. Please go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah, Karthik, sorry to interrupt you. See, now you
please
are
go ahead.
just providing us details on morning and evening batches, right? Are these
Correct.
first batches, I mean, a very first session which will be going on, or what is that covered
Uh,
over there?
from the first session itself, like we'll be starting this. I mean, tomorrow I
Okay,
said you,
so
right? Like from tomorrow we'll starting the batch.
first batch, right?
Uh, I'm not saying about the first batch, session one. I mean to say
Yeah, so
batch
yeah, got
number
it.
is five.
Session,
This is
first
batch number
session.
five,
Yeah.
session number one. Correct.
Okay, got it. I mean, session
You're
one.
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
fine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So as you can see, the fee is 15,000 rupees in the website. So hope like my team has already shared the festival flyer with you. So we are offering an 10% discount. So 10% discount on all our trainings so that you will be getting a discount price here. I'll just like complete the schedule and I'll just get back to you on these things. So coming to this Power BI and SQL training, so we are going to provide you the 4 real-time projects as well. And each and every session, whatever the session we are dealing with, every session is recorded and it will be given to you. Okay. And it will be given to you for lifetime access. And for each and every session, we'll be having a material. So what and all the data we used in that particular session, we will be given to you. Okay. No need to worry about that. And the batch is starting from tomorrow. That is the 7th April. That is 7th April from tomorrow, like we are starting the batch. And these two are the timings. And coming to the registration part, you can contact us on these two numbers. Okay. So one is 810-529-6858, which is shown on website. And another one is 63616-38108. Okay. These two are our WhatsApp numbers and calling numbers as well. You can just connect us on these numbers for the registration or like whatever the queries you have. If you want to connect with the trainer or anything, okay. So if you want assistance from Raj Cloud Technologies, you can just contact us on these two numbers so that will help you. And we accept all the payment modes. We accept UPI, bank transfer, net banking, international transfer. Everything is available with us. Credit card. So everything is available with us. Okay, and coming to the UPI details, I have seen like few questions that like many people are asking the UPI details are continuously changing. Yes, see on these UPI numbers, like what we can expect is only 10 payments we can receive a day. That is the reason why we keep on changing these UPI details. So I request everyone that like if you are getting these UPI details from these two numbers, only from these two numbers, then you can blindly believe that we are from Raj Cloud Technologies. Okay, so these are the two numbers 810-529-6858 and 63616-38108. These two are official Raj Cloud Technology WhatsApp and calling numbers. If you receive the payment details from these two numbers, you can blindly believe that. So you got the payment details from Raj Cloud Technologies. If you have any doubt, you just give me a call. Okay, you just give me a call on these two numbers and confirm the payment details that what you have received. Okay, I'm just sharing the payment details as well in the chat box so that you can go for the payment today and you can complete your registration. Okay, and you can get ready for the tomorrow session. So coming to the complimentary course, so as we said, like Oracle SQL will be the complimentary training that we are offering to you. So this training is having 10 videos. Okay, so 10 videos and 15 hours of training. Okay, so 15 hours of content is given. Okay, so these 15 hours of content, like we are covering these topics. Okay, so what are the topics we have covered? I'm just sharing the chat box. Okay, these are the topics that we covered in these 10 classes as well. I have shared in the chat box too, so that you can just go through once. Okay, I'm just coming to this registration part. So here is the page. Here is the page where we have uploaded all our course content and all. So you can check out this page for the course content, and you can check out these morning and evening batches and the fee as well, that is 15,000 rupees. Okay, you can pay through the website as well, but the offer won't be applicable if you pay through the website. So just contact us on this number 8105296858 so that my team will be available and will be helping you for the complete registration process and all. Okay, as I said, you will be having a 10% discount, right? I'll just explain about the discounted price as well. So the Power BI sessions, sorry, course price is 15,000 rupees. 15,000 rupees. But you'll be getting a 10% discount, right? That is a discount is 1,500 rupees. Discount is 1,500 rupees. 1,500 rupees. So the actual price will be 13,500. 13,500. And I'm repeating you once again, this offer is valid only today, please. Only today. So as the festival is going on, like we are providing these offers to you. Okay. So like if you miss the day, I cannot assure you that like you're going to get the same price, same price if you go the enrollment for tomorrow or day after tomorrow, like that. Just try to complete your registration today and start the classes from tomorrow. Okay. And for the first week, I'm just want to go for the schedule as well. I don't want to like make you people like about the schedule and all. So I have got like many questions on the schedule as well. For the first 1 week or 2 weeks, we will be having alternative days. That is a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay. So see the many people on the installation part or on like many other things. So you need to get into the flow first of all. That is the reason why. That is the reason why we will be taking the alternative sessions for the 1 week or 2 weeks. After 1 week, we'll be asking the students that if you are comfortable to take the classes like continuously from the next week, that will be fine. If not, we'll go for the second week also. We'll go for the alternative days and then we'll go for the continuous sessions from the third week. Okay, so most probably from the second week, from the 14th of April, we'll suggest to go for the complete schedule like Monday to Friday, 5 sessions in a week. If not, if the students are not comfortable, if the students are still getting to the flow, then we'll go for the second week also alternative days. Okay, and then from the third week we'll be having the continuous classes. Hope everyone is clear with the schedule and all. If you have any questions regarding this, please ask me. So I see no questions here in the chat box as well. So hope everyone is good with the details, right? I hope everyone is good with the details. So if you are unable to unmute, you can like ask me in the chat box as well. Yes, each and every session will be given to you. These will record each and every session and we'll share it with you. No need to worry about that. So if you want to discuss about your profile, if you want to discuss about your experience and how to showcase on all these things, you can connect with me on this WhatsApp number 8105296858. Okay. And if someone is having a huge career gap and if you wanted to go with some kind of documents, kind of experience letters and all, yes, still will help you on that. Yes, still will help you on that. Okay, no need to worry about that. Okay, so coming to the documents and all, like from where you need to get the documents, like how you need to manage the background verification. Okay, if you are switching from one domain to another domain, okay, so how to manage your profile on each and everything. Okay, so we can discuss one to one. You can just connect with me on this number 8105296858. This is Karthik. I'm the team lead here in the Raj Cloud Technologies. You can just connect with me on this number. Yeah, can we make the payment in 2 installments? Yes, the 2 installments option also will be given to you. No need to worry about that. Just connect us on this number so that we can discuss about your installments as well. No problem. Any questions, you can just select Karthik in the chat box. Like in the chat box, you can select right for the host and co-host. You can just select for the Karthik Raj Cloud Technologies and you can post the question, please. Yeah, you're welcome. So still, if you haven't posted your WhatsApp number in the chat box, you can just post so that like my team will be taking the number and they'll be adding to the data analyst Power BI SQL real-time WhatsApp group so that like you can discuss whatever the doubts you will be getting. You can get the course updates there and many openings, like where the openings are available. Okay, so you can get the openings details as well. And many professionals are also available in the group so that like you can discuss like whatever the doubts you have, and the trainers, like everyone is available in that group. Okay, so that like you can utilize the content and you can make more interactive about the community as well. Yeah, you can just post in the chat box. Just post your name and WhatsApp number will be enough. My team will be adding you. Yes, as I said you, the price will be 13,500 rupees if you go for the registration today, please. The offer is available only today. Yeah, I hope no questions in the chat box as well. Okay, so can we wind up the meeting?
Yeah, thanks, Karthik.
Yeah, sure, Karthik. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ambarishan garu. Thank you so much for your wonderful session. And thank you all to joining the session today. And I wish you once again a happy Sri Ramanavami to everyone. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining session today. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, bye.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sir.